In F582, we also want to consider how they come up with the 18-mark question. Where do they get the topic for it from? So today I want to go through and explain to you how they developed the idea. So when you finish watching this video, I'll try to keep it brief. You'll understand the process by which the 18-mark question is determined for an OCR Economics F582 exam, which I believe this is the last time you'll be able to submit that exam. Now this is straight from the syllabus. You're asked to demonstrate 4 skills. The first one is knowledge, second application, third analysis, fourth evaluation. But we're going to use this information and then go to the syllabus and withdraw from the syllabus all the places where there is an evaluate lesson or learning objective. So if you actually go to your F582 part of the syllabus, you'll see some objectives that require you to evaluate something, and that's what we're going to look at. In F582, you're going to get 10% of your marks on this exam from that objective. So let's jump ahead to it. These are some of the evaluation/discussion points that are listed in the syllabus. So you're asked to look at, these are the first 3. I'm going to show you a total of 7. Now, when you go through your syllabus, go and highlight these places because these are the kind of areas, these are the areas you need to focus on in order to develop these things into essays that you can pre-write actually and then take with you to the exam that day. So the first one is discuss how changes in aggregate demand and aggregate supply may affect output, unemployment, and inflation. So you might get a question that says discuss how changes in aggregate demand affect blah, 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 or discuss how changes in aggregate supply, blah, 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 or some variation of that. The second thing is talk about or discuss the difficulties of their measurement. This should just say measurement, not measurement 0. Discuss the difficulties of their measurement. These are the previous objectives: unemployment, economic growth, and inflation. Third, I think the second one I wrote it a little bit wrong, but you can find this one in your syllabus. The third one is discuss the consequences of each of these: unemployment, inflation, or deficit on the surplus on the current account balance of the balance of payments. On the current account of the balance of payments. Fourth, looking at discussing the costs, benefits, and sustainability of economic growth, the good, the bad, and how long it can continue. The fifth discussion point is using the AD and AS model. Discuss the ways in which fiscal, monetary, and supply side policies can affect unemployment, inflation, and economic growth, the current account position on the balance of payments. So here you're going to be using a diagram and then looking at how they might work, how they might not work, and then the conditions necessary for them to be successful, and the limitations of the policies. Number 6, looking at those same policies in achieving the government's macroeconomic objectives, which are tied pretty closely to the items listed in Objective 5. And the last one is discuss the reasons for and consequences of possible conflicts between policy objectives. So what I want to do now is actually show you when these past paper questions were used by the evaluation objective. So I gave you 1 through 7, and then I went and I looked back through all the past papers and I found this. For evaluation objective 1, it was last examined in 2009, the summer paper. For 2, it doesn't seem to appear at all. 3, winter 2012, summer 2014. And then you can read on below. Now, number 5, you'll see, objective number 5, I put a question mark next to summer 2013. That's because this question could actually go in another column. I think it was also in 6. But because 5 and 6 are so similar, it can easily be interchanged. So I don't want to tell you to focus on practicing essays for 5 and 6. But that's what the evidence seems to indicate, that that's where the question would be coming from. But, and this is a big but, don't assume that it definitely will. Okay, you have a good likelihood it's going to come from 5 and 6, which are, you can see here, using the ADAS model, the way the policies affect their economic objectives. So these are the questions as I've taken them from the past papers. You can pause the video and take a look if you want. You can write them down however you wish. I've also tried to put a link to the syllabus and the video information so you can just download it directly and see what I'm talking about. Here's the second page full of the other essays that have been assigned for 18 marks on the 582 exam. Again, take a look at these and try to understand the answers to these questions, but there's another thing I want to introduce you to as well, and that's to consider trying what's called a variation technique. And what that means is you take a question that you found on an old past paper, you rewrite it, and you answer that new question and you master it. So you'll see in January 2009, the 18-mark question was discuss the extent to which supply-side policies can be effective at reducing inflation. You could try something like discuss the extent to which fiscal policy can be effective or monetary policy can be effective at reducing inflation. You can also try at reducing unemployment, at increasing economic growth. You can play with this, right? So you have so many essays that you can manipulate out of the existing set of essays. So be sure to try this technique because the mark schemes are available, and on top of which you have a general idea of what the mark scheme is looking for, so it's not too hard for you to adapt it. The other thing is it starts to make you think about the other policies and how they come together, and it's actually a very good revision technique. So that's all I have for you guys for the 18 marker. I hope it's been helpful. Again, if you have any questions, let me know. If you're a student taking the new economic specification, send me a message and let me know what I can do for you.